Like damn, she wanna fuck with a Tati. I say I own it, and she got it.
What's good? It's your boy Jay. That's me. Let's get into TNA Impact from July the 18th, 2024. An okay go-home show for Slammiversary. And we are going to go over the predictions for Slammiversary. So we kick the show off with the first match of the night. The No Quarter Catch Crew. They defeat the Rascals and Kushida. Fun little match. I'm digging the NXT TNA crossover. I like it. I know some people don't, but it is consistent and it makes sense. Charlie Dempsey continues to shine constantly on NXT, which is great. And I'm digging the No Quarter Catch Crew. I'm digging them. So the match was fun. Moving on. So the Rascals, they had a treehouse segment. They talked about being back together again after being apart for 4 years. And so the Rascals, they called Wesley by his old Impact name, which was Desmond Xavier. So that was cool. And then Wesley suggests that the Rascals reunite at Slammiversary so they could kick the No Quarter Catch Crew's ass. So this is very fun, and I like it. Really good stuff. Excellent stuff. Moving on, Xia Brookside defeats Alicia Edwards via the help of Spitfire. So they get involved. Masha Slamovich, she's about to interfere, and then Spitfire, they take her out. And then this allows for Xia Brookside to hit her finish for the 1-2-3. I feel bad for Masha Slamovich. She's been brought down so low. She's not doing jack shit. Masha was so good back in 2022 and the early part of last year, but now, no. I just feel bad for her, and I have no idea why TNA refuses to push her. I just don't get it, but it is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it now. Moving on. So we get a video package that features Santana. He passionately declares his intent to capture the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. He addresses the recent attack that took place last week from Johnny Dango Curtis that cost him the shot at the that cost him a future title shot. Then he's coming for JDC with vengeance on his mind. So this is great. I liked it. I really dig what they're doing with Mike Santana. It makes perfect sense what they're doing with him. Do I think he'll be a TNA champion? No, not right now. He's going to have to wait. He's going to have to wait a minute. What I would do, if by some chance Mustafa Ali defeats Mike Bailey, then maybe Mike Santana will be the one to dethrone Mustafa Ali. Maybe, I don't know. Just putting it out there in the universe. I have no idea. Moving on. So, speaking about Mike Bailey, he gets into the ring. He calls out Mustafa Ali. He wants Ali to face him immediately, and he's not going to leave the ring until Ali does. So Ali appears on the Titantron, and so he's surrounded by Campaign Singh and his security team. So Mustafa Ali agrees to face Mike Bailey tonight, but only if Mike Bailey can first conquer the Secret Service gauntlet. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? So Basically, one by one, Mike Bailey destroys everyone. And then the last guy to come out was Champagne Singh. He makes fun of the crowd. And one of the Secret Service members who didn't get hurt distracted Mike Bailey, and this allowed for Champagne Singh to assault Mike Bailey. And then Mustafa Ali came out and he beat the hell out of Mike Bailey. And they did an NXT finish that was on NXT when Oro Mensah, when he fake pinned Ethan Page. That's what they did, where Mustafa Ali fake pinned Mike Bailey. So that was cool. I dug that. Really good shit there. Good stuff. So, then Mustafa Ali, he is backstage and he says that the match at Slammiversary is canceled. So Santino Marella says, nah, it's not going down like that. Santino warns Mustafa Ali if he doesn't show up, he'll be stripped of the title and he's also going to be fired as well. So then Mustafa Ali responds menacingly, saying that whatever happens to Mike Bailey now is on Santino Marella. So I do like this. It's really cool stuff. Even though I'm not a fan of Mike Bailey, I get the story. So he might be the one to dethrone Mustafa Ali, but who really knows? Moving on. So the System, Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers, they defeat the Hardys. So they retain the TNA World Tag Team Championships. They won via DQ. They retained them via DQ because Johnny Dango Curtis showed up. JDC showed up. And he shoved Jeff Hardy off the top rope as he was about to hit the Swanton. And then post-match, the System, they beat the shit out of the Hardys, and then they Pillmanized Jeff Hardy's neck. They threw him into the ring post one time, and they also threw him into the steel guardrail. And Jeff Hardy was stretchered out. The crowd was pissed about this. This was excellent. We all knew why this happened because Jeff Hardy's not allowed in Canada, so it makes sense. So this is fine. Moving on. So JDC, he defeated Mike Santana via the help of the System. So they got involved, and this allowed for a DQ. So no. Santana got DQ'd. He used a steel chair. My bad. I apologize for that. So it is what it is. Moving on. That's fine, though. So Mike Hannifan, he interviews Jordynne Grace, discussing her upcoming title defense against Asper Elegance at Slammiversary. They talk about her time in WWE and NXT and much more. So that's fine. It makes sense. That's cool, I guess. Moving on. So George Iceman, a.k.a. the personal concierge for Asper Elegance, he's on the phone with Ash, assuring her that everything is set up for her at Slammiversary. So Rosemary appears behind him, stalking him silently. She disappears before he notices her presence. This is so fucking stupid. I have no idea why TNA still is trying to push Rosemary. It's not 2017. It's not 2016. It's not 2014. It's 2024. It's time to move on from the Rosemary experiment. It's not cool anymore. Enough is enough. No one cares. She's one-dimensional. I loved when she was Courtney Rush. I think that was great. That was excellent. But now, just going back to weird, crazy bitch Rosemary. No, let's not do this. Let's really not do this. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I mean, Rosemary has been with TNA for forever. I want to say close to 10 years. Like, enough. Like, she's not the girl. She's not it. And then, we got the contract signing for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. 6-way, basically. So everyone signs the contract and everything. Nick Nemeth, he was absent due to injury. So he appears on the screen to update his health. He apologizes and assures everyone that he will be medically cleared in 2 days, and he's going to be at Slammiversary. So basically everyone signs the contract except for Joe Hendry. Then First Class, they come out, and AJ Francis expresses confusion over the contract signing. He begins to claim that he's the real main event with PCO, which is total bullshit. Get the fuck out of here with that. He acknowledges everyone in the match except for Joe Hendry. And then Santino instructs AJ Francis to leave the ring. Then PCO, he emerges from the ring out of nowhere. And then he beats the hell out of First Class. And then a massive brawl ensues, basically. And then Moose is about to powerbomb Joe Hendry to a table, but Josh Alexander intervenes with a punch. Joe Hendry delivers a standing ovation to Moose to the table. And Josh then proceeds to hand Joe Hendry the contract, and Joe Hendry signs it. And that was the end of the show. So, really good stuff. It actually does make sense. Like I said before, Joe Hendry getting much needed momentum is great. He's their most over guy. Speaking of TNA, Joe Hendry basically is TNA, if we're being honest. Let's get on to the predictions. Moving on, let's get into the predictions for Slammiversary. 11 matches on the card, way too much. I have no idea why TNA decided to do that. That's way too AEW-esque, but it is what it is. They're probably going to have an hour-long pre-show. So I'm going to go over the matches that I think might take place on the pre-show, and then from there we'll go on the main card. So, Jonathan Gresham versus Kushida. Jonathan Gresham, I love his gimmick. He needs to win. The Fatal 4-Way, Xia Brookside, Giselle Shaw, Tasha Steelz, and Fabi Apache. Xia Brookside makes the most sense in my opinion. Then I'm going to go with Masha Slamovich and Alicia Edwards versus Spitfire, Danny Luna, and Jody Threat for the Knockouts World Tag Team Championships. Spitfire is going to win. Why wouldn't they? And then I'm going to go with AJ Francis versus PCO for the Digital Media Championship and the Canadian International Heavyweight Championship. PCO's going to win this hands down. Who gives a fuck? Moving on to the main card. ABC versus The System, which is Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. ABC will win. It makes perfect sense. It's going to be the downfall of The System, basically. Moving on, Mustafa Ali versus Mike Bailey for the X Division Championship. I'm conflicted with this, but I think they're going to switch the title with Mike Bailey. It makes the most sense simply because, not just because they're in Canada, but because this is babyface versus heel 101 type stuff here. For weeks and weeks and weeks, Mustafa Ali has taunted and belittled Mike Bailey. He's even assaulted one of his best friends in Trent Seven. So why wouldn't Mike Bailey win and get his comeuppance? Heel and babyface storytelling 101. It's common sense. Moving on. Jordynne Grace versus Ash by Elegance for the Knockouts World Championship. I'm going to go with Jordynne Grace. And I'll tell you why when I talk about these surprises. Moving on. Jake something versus Mike Santana. I have no idea why this match is even happening, but Mike Santana is going to win that one. And then we have the main event. Moose, Josh Alexander, Steve Maclin, Nick Nemeth, Frankie Kazarian, and Joe Hendry, a six-way for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Who wins? Joe, Hendry, or bust. I'm a massive fan of Nick Nemeth, always have, always will be, but Joe Hendry is super red hot right now, and TNA would be dumb as fuck to not put the strap on Joe Hendry. We all know that Joe Hendry is headed to WWE whenever his contract is up. Same with Jordynne Grace. But until that time comes, Joe Hendry needs to be the face of TNA. Joe Hendry needs to win. Hands down. So those are my predictions. Now on to the surprises that I think we might get. Mandy Rose just recently showed up at an indie event this past week. I believe it was on Tuesday. And she wrestled Ash by Elegance. Ash by Elegance is with TNA. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nod, nod. Mandy Rose is showing up at Slammiversary. Why wouldn't she? It makes the most sense. And TNA needs to scoop up Mandy, sign her to an exclusive deal, 3 years, allow Mandy to be one of the faces of the Knockouts division. And I'm glad that Mandy has decided to come back to the industry. This is great. Speaking of Mandy, I wouldn't be shocked if we see either Lacey Evans, a.k.a. Macy, I don't know her last name, Lacey Evans, or Xia Li show up. So I wouldn't be shocked if any of those three women show up. For the returns, I think we'll probably see maybe Jane Storm show up. I think that would be pretty cool. Makes sense. I also think that we'll probably see Dijak show up. He was recently released not so long ago. Well, not released, but he was, let go from his contract. And I do think that we'll definitely see Jinder Mahal show up. So, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't those guys show up? But those are the surprises who I think that we'll see. I doubt if AJ Styles will show up, and I know some people are saying that he might show up and stuff. It's like, it's not going to happen. We're not going to see AJ Styles. We're not going to see Bobby Lashley. We're not going to see Drew McIntyre or LA Knight or any of those guys. You're not going to see those guys, all right? You're not. So, get that out of your fucking head. It's not going to happen. But I think those would be sufficient surprises. We might even maybe get Elias, a.k.a. Elijah, showing up. So that would be kind of cool. Maybe we get Gallus showing up and interfering in the match with Joe Hendry. Not costing Joe Hendry, but to kind of distract him for a second with the Rascals coming out and fighting off Gallus. So they might go with that one. But overall, I'm excited for Slammiversary. I'm happy with what TNA is doing. It's been reported that they are searching for a new TV deal. Hopefully they can get on with either Reels or Sci-Fi. Either one would be fine with me. And Slammiversary has been sold out. They sold out. It's going to be, I believe, 4,000 people showing up at the event, or they sold 4,000 tickets. So you know, with them selling that means the NXT TNA partnership is definitely paying off. And I expect to see some NXT involvement outside of just the Rascals. So we'll see, what happens. But I'm very excited for Slammiversary. But what did you guys think of TNA? And